Hi, this is Margaret Maloney, and welcome to the Death Dhamma podcast. Open and honest discussions with wise and skillful teachers about their experiences with life, death, and Buddhism. If you wonder how others on the path have dealt with death and dying and grief, then be sure to listen in. Everybody has a story, a perspective, and a valuable lesson to share. Embrace death, live a full life, and learn how to love impermanence. Because as my dear father used to say, nobody gets out of this alive. Hello, my friends of the Death Dhamma podcast. I am happy today to have you join me in a discussion with Venerable Sumitta. And I'm going to let him introduce himself because there are so many interesting things to learn about him. And before that happens, I just want to remind you that Sitting with Death, the book, is coming in September. And the best way to keep track of that is, of course, to keep being a friend of the podcast and also come visit me at margaretmaloney.com and sign up because I will keep you updated, and you will also receive a free recording of the introduction to Carpooling with Death. And Carpooling with Death is where it all began, where I first started on my path of making friends with death. Little did I know it was going to lead to the Death Dhamma podcast, to Sitting with Death, and who knows where the journey will go next.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the blessed one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. Greetings and thank you for inviting me. And I'm Venerable Sumitta. I am also called Bhante Sumitta. I am from Sri Lanka. I'm a Buddhist, Theravada Buddhist monk. Traditionally trained Buddhist monk, and I became a Buddhist monk a long time ago. Now it's already 39 years as a Buddhist monk. So I started getting exposed to Buddhism through my preceptor, and then I was learning under him for 13 years. And then we learned many things. We learned things by heart, and all those very hard things, difficult, challenging things, especially as a very young child those days. It was always challenging, but I enjoyed. Always wanted to learn something new every time. I was very happy and excited to learn something new. So every time I was given a task, okay, you learn this portion by heart, this sutta by heart, I was just focused and completely absorbed into that. And every single day I used to do that. I remember I did, like, for example, Dhammapada. In Dhammapada, there are 26 chapters, and I finished it in 26 days. So like that, we learned many things. And then I learned Pali, I learned Sanskrit, I learned Sinhala, I learned Buddhism, and other subjects too we had to learn in our monastic institute. And then I went to India. I studied Buddhism. I did 2 BAs and 3 master degrees, and then I started teaching in a monastic institute as a principal. There were 50 monks. I had to take care of that institute, and then I went to a university for Buddhist monks that was exclusively reserved for Buddhist monks in the heart of ancient capital of Sri Lanka, Anuradhapura. There were 400 Buddhist monks. And I was teaching there for a while before coming to America for my PhD. And now I'm still working on it and also teaching. And I'm also the founder of Dhamma USA, Community Care and Spiritual Care Foundation.
Beautiful. And yes, he also teaches Pali. which I have had the opportunity to sit through some of his poly classes, which are really a joy. And now I know why you are so calm, because you've already done and seen so much in life. I think that gives a confidence, because you've been many different places, and wow, led a group of 400. Wow. That's Thank you so much for sharing all that. This is one of the things I love about having these conversations is I think I know someone, but I didn't know all of that because we never really sat and talked about all of that. That is quite amazing. Remind me, how long have you been in the United States? I forget.
6 years.
Okay. All right. So a small part of your journey, a small part
I
of your journey.
know.
All right, great.
Yes.
Well, today I'm going to pick your brain about helping the rest of us with death. I think you were probably a Buddhist as a child, but I don't really know. Was your family Buddhist?
Yes.
I would think so because of growing
In,
up in
in
Sri
Sri
Lanka.
Lanka, like a vast majority of our country, they are Buddhist.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a very established system in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very profound and really deep rooted. We have a separate ministry for Buddha Sasana, and that's government. And even the Sri Lankan president himself is most of the time is the minister for Buddha Sasana.
Okay.
And then we have 10,000 temples, over 10,000 Buddhist temples in that tiny little country, and they are scattered all over the country. And these Buddhist monks are grassroots level natural leaders.
Okay.
And even though we were small monks, when we were
Mm-hmm.
bowed and respected by even the president, we naturally become leaders, and they are respected very much. And so they were like walking role models, and they had natural tendency to become leaders, and also they were working for the community. They were dedicated their life and energy for the benefit and well-being of
Mm-hmm.
the community. Yeah.
So you're the community leaders, and so if I lived in the community where your temple was, I would naturally come to you for my Buddhist teaching, for my guidance, spiritual help, and I would come to you when I was dealing with death. Probably,
Mm.
right? I would come to you for help and to help me with my sadness and my
Yeah.
attachment and my grieving.
Yeah, that's
You,
right.
yes, yes. So, when was the first time you had to deal with death?
Oh,
Was it
that's a good
age,
question.
right? When was the first time you had to deal with death?
When I was 3,
Oh, wow.
I lost my dad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And when I was 9, we had a big family. I had 7 members, siblings in my
Mm-hmm.
family. My sister, she was just 17,
Mm-hmm.
and she actually was drowned in the river.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
in Sri Lanka, we have like torrential rains, and the water flow is really floods all the time, and especially my district. I'm from central hill areas, and all the major 4 rivers of Sri Lanka start from that mountains. So when it rains for days and weeks.
Wow.
And yeah, so my sister, I lost her when she was 17, and I was just 9.
Oh.
And I still didn't know much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember almost anything about my father. Uh,
Okay.
and my mother was a school teacher, and
Mm-hmm.
then she was taking care of the entire family, and she never let us feel like anything missing, and she
Oh.
balanced it so beautifully. And then I lost my sister and after that I went to India. I
Mm-hmm.
studied in Delhi University. I was in India for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then in between, I got a call from Sri Lanka to come back to Sri Lanka as soon as possible.
Oh dear.
I was like, I heard like my brother was not well.
Oh dear.
And I said, if he's not well, so should I still come back? Then anyway, I felt like there is an emergency, so I went the other day,
Hmm.
and he had a brain tumor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was just 36. He had two kids, small young kids, and he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And that time when I went to my home, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone came to me, and my brothers, my mother, everyone. So they were like crying, but they came to me for refuge, some comfort. So I can't cry. I just I just kept quiet, I just held on to it, and yeah, I just finished the whole thing. I had
Mhm.
them and I comforted them, and at the end of it, I came back after 7 days, back to India.
Sorry, did you lead them through all the rituals also?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I did, and but I personally, it was a very challenging time when you were involved in your own family member. And
Yeah.
as a very young novice monk, I
Uh-huh.
was just 11 when I became a monk. So
Oh, wow.
like we go to funerals. The monks are supposed to go to funerals,
Mm-hmm.
and when I go to funerals, I felt like I have never seen those people. And then those people cry, and I also cry.
Oh, because did you cry because you shared their sadness with them? Why do you think that you cried
Like
too?
there were other monks too, like sitting for the funeral service.
Mhm.
But when the people cry, I can't stop crying myself, although
Oh,
I don't know anything about them.
uh,
But that was me.
but you
I
were
was,
so young. Also, you said 11 years old. So,
yeah, yeah. And then lately, I felt like scary to go to the funerals,
ah.
because people cry and all those things. And
Mhm.
then I said, I don't want to go to funerals.
And then did you say that to like your preceptor? I don't want to go
Yeah,
to funerals.
I said to my teacher, I don't want to go to funerals. I'm scared of them. People cry, and like when they cry, it's not one, two people, like so many people cry so loudly. It was like really disturbing.
Oh,
And
yeah. Some people really wail, like really,
yeah,
ah, right? Yes, some people they have a crying release. Huh?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's the way they release their pride.
yes. Well, what did he say to you?
Actually, he did not stop me because I think he gave me that training.
Okay.
So I kept going, and lately I learned, okay, this is natural. Everyone dies. I had to also face that.
Mm-hmm.
So slowly and steadily, I learned about the nature of death.
Okay.
And so we talk about death, and
Yes.
we preach we give Dhamma talks to people about death. Okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
life, everything is impermanent, and all that stuff we say, we explain to people. And then when I came back to came to America,
Mm-hmm.
and after a year or two, my mother passed away.
I remember that. Yeah.
And that was actually very special.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is when I learned about my mother's death, and my senior monks here I
Mm-hmm.
was working with many temples here, and those senior monks asked me, I asked, should I go back to Sri Lanka? They said, now she's no more. Even if you go
Oh,
there, it doesn't make much of a difference. And it's long journey, and you're also in the middle of your semester. And if you go, then you will miss so many things. Maybe we get together here and arrange a funeral service here.
okay. Okay. And
So
how did that feel? I kind of remember, I do remember some of this. Definitely. I remember when your mom died. And
yeah.
I remember that there was the service. How did you feel about not going back to Sri Lanka during that time?
Yeah, actually, my mother, she used to call me and she said, why don't you come sometimes? And I asked why. And then
Uh,
she said, you come and take me to a doctor or something.
oh, okay.
So I said, okay, I have arranged everything for her.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we built a house in Colombo suburb, so she could stay with my sister's family,
Hmm.
and they were all taking care of her. I arranged everything for her comfort before coming here,
Hmm.
and she was already retired school teacher, and but she was a little weak. So when I was in India, she was little more weak. You know, all those mothers, they are, if they have a monk in their families, they are more closer to them.
I was wondering about that. Thank you, because I was thinking, I know you aren't the oldest
Yeah,
in
I'm not
your
the old.
family,
I'm the second. I was the second youngest.
right?
But
But you're the
everyone
mom
in the family, they consider me as the senior most family member.
because
They
you
always get back to me, ask
have.
for
Mhm.
some guidance and advices and all that stuff, counseling. They share so many things with me, so I have to help them.
Okay,
And my mother was a school teacher for 38 years,
good for
and
her.
then and still she also come back to me every time she needs some help. And of course, I learned many things from my mother,
Hmm.
and I taught her. I actually trained her to face that final death. I
Did
said,
you?
yeah, what I said, I kept telling her, do not expect me to call like in a regular schedule. Like I call every Saturday 10 a.m. or something.
Mhm.
If you expect that, that will be a bond. I think that will be a negative attachment. If I feel like if I free or something, I will definitely call. Once in a while I'll call, but I think it should not be regular, and you should not expect all the time. Okay,
Okay.
he's going to call me and all that stuff. I don't want that to happen to you.
And what
And
did she
also,
say when you first said that? That because I think mothers don't like that. I think mothers want their children to call once a week or
I know,
every day or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it is. Yeah.
yeah. But I wanted to train herself not to get attached to even the children.
Okay.
Said,
Okay.
okay, you are free, you should not be attached to your children or property or anything. Just relax, free. You go to the temple, you do whatever you want, but relax and
Oh,
don't get attached to anything or anyone anymore. Yeah, you should be ready for that. That day is coming. It will come to us also. My sister got it before, and my brother also got it before, and so it will come naturally to you too. So you should be ready for that. And
you were
when
teaching
you,
her non-attachment as a way to prepare for her own death.
that's right, I did that. And very interestingly, the day she felt little discomfort, and she asked my sister to take her to the hospital.
Hmm.
And my mother used to listen to chantings all the time.
Okay.
So even when she goes to bed, she wanted to listen to chanting. In Sri Lanka, we have round the clock 24/7 Buddhist channels, and so they give Dhamma talks and they give Buddhist chanting. So my mother used to listen to them. And
Lovely.
when she was going to the hospital, she asked my teacher and whosoever in the vehicle, asked them to chant. So
Oh.
they were chanting some Karaniya Metta Sutta, and they said they were chanting those
Uh-huh.
suttas. And then she fell asleep, and by the time she went to the hospital, she was already gone.
Oh, now to me, that sounds like a lovely, peaceful death. Is
Yeah,
that true, do you think?
yes, and no pain. Like I know, like I have seen, and I know when people die, they have many struggles. They actually don't want to die. They want to, hold on to that, and they cry. They want for, ask for help, and I want to, live more. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they do many things, and then many things happen physically and mentally. They undergo many changes. But my mom was very peaceful.
Oh, I think that's so nice. And does it make it easier for you to know that your mother had a good death?
I was preparing myself,
Hmm.
I know, I had the experience already. I lost my dad, I lost my sister, I lost my brother, and this is my mother. But uh, after my mother's death, although I have been a monk for a long time,
Hmm.
um, I think I reinterpreted the concept of death.
In what
Uh,
way?
in what way means, like, that time only, I felt like I'm missing my father.
Oh, okay.
And ever since um, mm, my mother died, I
Hmm.
felt like I had a dad, you know. And
Oh, okay.
because my mother never allowed us to feel that discomfort, she somehow balanced it so
Oh,
beautifully.
that you didn't think about missing your dad.
Yeah, and somehow it occurred to me. And then also I felt like when my mother died, it was so hard.
Hmm.
Although we know the concept, we know the philosophy, we know the idea, okay, death is common, everyone dies. That's what we also explain. But when she died, it was a completely different scenario. We were actually very constructively, I would say. Also, we leave our home and
Hmm.
we work for the community. And when we come out of our home, the entire society is our family, our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, sisters, everyone. Wherever I go, I consider they are my family,
Yeah.
So that way I felt more comfortable. And that's, I think, should be the way the monks, work. And but when my mother died, I felt like I was a little more attached to her.
Okay.
and, yeah, so it was a little more difficult, and I had to reinterpret. Okay, I have been also involved in that kind of attachment. I do everything good for her, and
Hmm.
then I also should know my limitations, and also the follow the Dhamma
Hmm.
way. And when the death come, it will come. And maybe she was my mother for a long time before, and even in future she will be. But there should have been more mothers to me before,
That
in
is
different time.
so helpful. Thank you so much. Because I want to stop here for a second and just focus on something, if you don't mind. What I really appreciate is your honesty. And I think that sometimes some of us feel like if I were a better Buddhist, I wouldn't be sad. Or if I was, if I did a better job, then I would be okay with death, or I wouldn't feel this loss. Or maybe Buddhism, some people maybe even feel like, oh, maybe Buddhism isn't helping me, which I don't think is true. But I do think there is something about when our parents die. And Venerable D, I also have spoken with Venerable D in these talks, and what we both kind of said was that there's something about when your parent dies, especially when it's your last parent, and it's your mother, because for him, his dad died first. For me, my dad died first. For
Mm.
you as well, big gap. I remember I had this feeling when my mom died. Now I'm truly an orphan. I had this feeling like I am truly an orphan now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so, I appreciate your honesty in this matter, because me, I'm just a layperson. So, of course, I still have a hard time. But I think sometimes people think we're supposed to strive to this perfection of never feeling sad.
Yeah. I don't think it should be the case too. We even I feel like the Buddha, he went to his mother, he went to the heaven to preach the Dhamma to Queen Mahamaya.
Yes.
And then she was Buddha was following his stepmother, Theri Mahapajapati, Buddha has never followed anyone, but
Mm-hmm.
he went to the gate of the Jetavana monastery, following the mother when she came to him and pay respect and gave a final Dhamma talk to the Buddha. He asked the Buddha normally asks when they are met with those final moments,
Mm-hmm.
the Buddha asks them to give a Dhamma talk, short Dhamma talk.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then after that, she paid respect and she left. While she was leaving, the Buddha was following her while appreciating her
Mm-hmm.
as a great mother to him. And then when King Suddhodana died, Buddha also went to him, and where there were two great disciples, chief disciples, Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana by either side of them,
Mm-hmm.
him, and then Venerable Ananda was in towards the legs, foot, and
Mm-hmm.
then the Buddha was uh, touching his head
Oh,
and preaching the Dhamma, and it is said he died as an arahant.
there you go.
Um, so he always was also respectful, and Buddhism,
Mm-hmm.
especially, talk about how important it is to take care of the parents. The
Yes.
Buddha said, if you take care of your parents, that is like you. That is like you take care of the Buddha himself.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
there.
really makes it. That really helps make that point.
Yeah,
That's really.
that is also why Buddhism had some space in mainland China, because
Oh, because of the taking care of parents, the respect.
parental love is really important in Chinese society, and I think I forgot the Chinese word. Buddhism in those Dung Huan caves and all, you
Yes.
can see like Matuposaka Jataka, and there where the Bodhisattva was taking care of his parents, and all the stories are there where
Mhm.
the parents are treated nicely.
Yes. Yes.
Buddhism really gives very important point, very important place for the parents.
It
So
makes
in our
sense.
Buddhist culture, our traditional Buddhist countries, they really respect the parents. We bow down to the parents just like we bow down to
The
the
teacher.
Buddha.
Yeah.
And we do have two special stanzas to salute the parents.
That.
Every single day, uh,
Uh-huh.
for example, before going to sleep, I used to bow down to my mother,
Mm-hmm.
reciting that Pali stanza. Yeah.
Oh.
One day I was very young, of course I was very small that time. And one day I forgot, we small kids, so we
Oh yeah.
easily fall asleep. And
Absolutely.
in the middle of the night, I woke up and I remembered, oh, I forgot to salute my mother.
Did you do it then in the middle of the night?
And then I saw she was sleeping. And I went there, I
Mm-hmm.
shook her up, I woke her up, and I recited that.
I love that. And what did she do?
Yeah, they touch our head and then they.
That is so funny. I wonder if part of her was happy and part of her was like, I'm sleeping. Why are you doing this? I'm sleeping.
And
I
then
work all day. I raise many children. Stop it. Oh,
it's a memorable thing. I still remember that
yeah,
when
that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
every
Yeah, the
time we go
connection to the parents, so important, huh?
every time we go to school,
Uh-huh.
before going to school, I used to go with my mother actually, but before going, we would bow to her with that recitation.
Oh, nice. Now,
You,
just you because you were a monk, or your brothers and sisters also because that's the proper thing for children to do?
no, we were. Not, I was not a monk that time.
Okay, before you were a monk. Okay.
Before becoming a monk.
Okay.
After becoming a monk, actually, she bowed to me.
Well, yeah.
the
Yes.
other way around.
Yes. I think this is a thing that sometimes people say is missing in some parts of Western culture, the respect and taking care of the parents. And I can see that sometimes that is true. And it's such an honor to be able to take care of a parent. Even though it's hard, it is such an honor.
Yeah.
Especially, so I'm going to cry a little bit, especially when they're dying, to get to be part of that. Yes, it's hard, but gosh, it's so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Uh,
what would you suggest to help make it easier for those of us as we take care of our dying parents? What would you say?
yeah. I think it's a very good question. You know, no matter what, everyone dies, we know. Like we talk about the nature, we offer flowers to the Buddha, and then it's very beautiful, refreshingly beautiful at the beginning, and later on it'll wither away. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and the sun starts in the morning, and then sun sets in the evening, and we breathe in and we breathe out, and
Yes.
everything changes in the world. So that's true. That is theoretically yes, but how difficult it is for you to face when your such beloved mother and father dies. It's really, really hard. Um, so I learned something.
I want to know.
I would like to share that actually,
Please.
because according to Buddhism, when they die, this is the circle of transmigration, right?
Uh-huh.
So they don't, unless and until they achieve arahanthood, they would still be, um, you know, traversing in the sansaric sojourn.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a long journey. So, rather than forcing them to stay longer when they are weak,
Uh-huh.
why not you allow them to
To
start
go.
fresh,
To go.
start
Yes.
young, you know,
Yes.
and also it's very good. I think Thich Nhat Hanh also said that when his mother died, what you did, you close your eyes, and when you close your eyes, you can feel your mother.
Ah.
Every time you close your eyes, you,
Uh-huh.
you feel like that time my mother was in Sri Lanka. Now I feel she was even more closer to me. I
Oh,
just have to close my eyes. Oh, my mother is right in front of me. And
okay.
when you feel the wind blowing through you, you feel like, oh, my mother is, just
Uh-huh.
right.
And is that something I've always been curious about? Because yes, there are absolutely times where I feel like that some of my dead family members are with me, and then I think, but I shouldn't want that, because I should want them to go, and like you said, to go on their samsara sojourn, because ultimately I should want them to not come back, right? I should want them to not come back. I should want them to experience nibbana. So that closing my eyes and feeling, or that feeling that they're around me, is that really them, or is that just something that's helping me remember them? What do you?
Look, it can be both.
Okay. Okay.
Um, uh, but I think in Thirukuda Sutta, I have written an article on this. You can also have a
Uh-huh.
look in our website.
Okay.
So according to Thirukuda Sutta, the Buddha said sometimes when they pass away, they
Hmm.
will still hang around us.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, they'll hang around us when they do some good thing, charity, dana, sila, bhavana. When we involve in this, and they will expect, oh, my children, my relatives, my friends will transfer merits to me. So when we do that, they will be so happy, and they will
Okay.
bless us again. you know
Ah.
and so whenever we do good things, like, we always have to remember them. We always have to share the merits with them, and that way you feel comfortable, first of all.
Yes. Yes.
And whether they receive that or not, it's a separate thing. But you do your duty. You think of them, you be grateful and thankful to them, and
Hmm.
transfer merits to them. I think that is a very important thing. And most of the time, what is more important for us, when somebody passes away, you can't do much about that. What
True.
can you do? You can't take them back,
No,
right?
no.
So now the living person has to survive and has to go through that difficult situation. And that is why the Buddha said, I think all the religions come to our rescue in different ways.
Uh-huh.
Buddhism said, do something good, engage in some charity activity, with pure intention. When you do something, you can generate that positive energy and then think of your parents and transfer it to them.
I love that. And so to respect them and to acknowledge that they're gone, but to, I want to say keep, but I don't mean that in the attachment way, but to keep them alive in my heart,
Mhm.
to do good things and to wish that merit to them. And
Mhm.
then that merit will find them wherever they have gone. Is that
Yeah.
true? So whether they've gone, because it's possible that they have come back, that they've already been reborn, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Now, for example, you are living like maybe, I don't know how far away from me right now. Margaret, may you be well, happy, healthy. May you have a wonderful, peaceful, happy day today. How do you feel?
I
How do
feel
you,
happy because you are wishing this on me, and I know that you are doing it with pure heart and spirit,
yeah,
and and it means so much to me because you are a Buddhist monk in the tradition that I practice, and
yeah.
so yes, it's like it's the best thing.
So yeah, now that means you can receive that merit.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
can share the merit, you can receive that merit, even though you are living, you were born in a different realm, you
Mhm.
can still receive that, right? And
Yes.
so I think of my mother, you think of your mother, and you transfer marriage to her. Okay, by listening to that or by telepathically connecting with you, she might be able to receive that. She might, her merit bank, merit account will increase.
I love that.
Yeah. So
She would
we
love that. She would love that.
keep helping them by depositing more and more merit checks, and then their account will be good.
She would like that. My mom was good with a budget. But she'd like to shop a little. So if I could give her some merit to spend, that would make her very happy. That's very helpful. That is so helpful. And I want to be respectful of your time. I could talk to you all day, and I know everyone could listen to us all day, but I think they could. But I want to be respectful of your time. What is, if I may, what is something that you want to make sure like that you really share with us? What do you think would be the most beneficial thing to help those of us who are left behind with death?
I think it's very important we practice regularly.
Okay.
So practice regularly, practice meditation, loving kindness, anapanasati, and also practice meditation, contemplate meditation on death.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have
And
a special way you would encourage us to do that?
I definitely encourage, especially there is no better time than today to contemplate on death. Look what's happening in the world. How many people die, and this corona COVID-19 pandemic has taught such a glorious lesson to all of us that life is impermanent, death is inevitable. So we have to face the music, whether we like it or not. We don't know when, where, and how it happens. But when the call from Mara comes, we can't bribe him.
We have to
There
go.
is a war that can be conquered, and he can be bribed. You can bribe anyone else, but not the Mara.
Ah,
You
not
have to
death.
be ready for that. Yes, you have to be ready for that. And
Okay.
right now, I'm talking to you, but after this, I don't know. If there is an earthquake, the wall collapse, I might die. I go to the road, meet with an accident, I might. You never know.
True. We don't
Just
know.
be ready for that. And what you should do, constantly practice. It's not being negative, it's rather be positive and realistic, and be more confident and comfortable, And if you are encountered with death, and if you don't have any regrets about your past, okay, you will be really good. I have done my duty. I lived my life. And even though you have done something bad, I'm trying to recover. I'm trying to be better today. And that way, I think it's a very wonderful opportunity for all of us to be good. And when you practice meditation regularly, constantly, on daily basis, even for 10-15 minutes, that will give you so much inner peace, and that will also give you an amazing capacity to take the right decisions in your life. And something like ups and downs can happen to any one of us in life. And
Yes.
when things like that happen, you know, those vicissitudes can be properly encountered and handled by those practitioners. So I recommend very strongly you keep meditating.
Okay.
Keep meditating daily, and it will help you refresh your memory, maintain your inner peace, and also maintain your wonderful family life and your work related issues, and everything else in your life can be properly balanced and maintained with regular meditation practice.
That is so helpful. Thank you. And I think I really hear you saying, keep your mind open to death. Keep your heart and mind open to death because it will come,
Mm.
and don't ignore it. Embrace it and make it part of your practice.
I remember some time back when I was giving a Dhamma talk to a French delegation. I,
Uh-huh.
I talk about death, and at the end of it, they came to me and they said, "Don't talk about death." Why? We don't want to talk about death.
Yes.
So I later learned, and the Western society, they don't want to talk about death, and they rather want to hide it.
Yes, exactly true. And that's why I write about it.
So
But
if
some of my friends tell me to stop it. Stop it, Margaret. Stop it. Please go on.
if you hide away from that, when you actually face that, you will be in real trouble. You will panic. And rather, if you are ready for that, you will not panic. You
Yes.
will rather confidently face it. And even though when it happens to your near and dear ones, you will also feel more confident
Yes.
and more comfortable. I think that way it's always good to learn about this anicca, dukkha, and anatta. You know, the impermanence, and then suffering, and also the no soul. And that way, we should be able to live our life more peacefully and more confidently and more healthily.
I'll just say, is there any one more thing that you want to make sure we know before we say goodbye for the day?
Yes, I think not to regret about the past. Don't
Oh,
regret about the past, because none of us is perfect. You
okay.
know, I always think if Angulimala could become Arahant, all of us can.
There you go. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful lesson. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
If you
don't.
run around killing people and chopping off their fingers,
I
and
know.
yet you can repent and then
So
move forward.
don't regret about the past. Just don't daydream about your future. Also, don't panic about your future too much. Just live at the present moment. Be happy and do good and be good as much as you can. And that is the best way for you to be happy all the time.
Thank you so much. And then even happy in death. Yes.
Yes, yes. When you do, for example, Anapanasati meditation, it is said, the Buddha says, even the last breath, you will be aware of it. You know, this is my last breath. You know, that much peace and that much calm in you when you practice meditation. Let's say you are going to drown in the water. Okay,
Mhm.
if you panic, what will happen? Your death will be faster. But
At
if you
worst.
don't panic, you maybe you meditate. I must say, if you are a constant practitioner, even that time, it is a very good testing time. You will meditate, you will calm, and you
Mm-hmm.
can float more. Rescuers can come and help you, you know. And even if you die, it's okay. You know, it is okay, you know, and you don't panic. You die peacefully. And let's say you meet with an accident suddenly, and you panic. Your heart will be pumping and you will be even more difficult situation. You don't panic, you maintain your peace, you're fine. Let's say you are affected with COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you panic, there is an opportunity for you to die faster. But
Yeah,
you don't panic, you calm, you know, you just accept it, and there is an opportunity for you to recover faster and come back to life.
there you go. So the outcome, no matter what, is good, because if I may be saved or live, and I may die, eventually I am going to die, but if I die peacefully, I'm going to have a better rebirth.
That's
Right?
right. That is
Yeah.
the most important thing. So live at the moment, right now, right here, and don't live in the past. Don't live in the future. Live today, right here, right now, and be happy.
Yes. Yes. And practice, which will
Yes.
bring us to happiness.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been the Death Dhamma podcast with Margaret Maloney. Thank you for being here. Your reviews and comments are greatly appreciated. And please come find me on margaretmaloney.com. MargaretMeloni. And don't forget to check out Carpooling with Death, How Living with Death Will Make You Stronger, Wiser, and Fearless. Available in all your favorite formats over on Amazon. And most importantly, may you be well. May you be happy. May you be safe, at ease, and free from suffering. Bye for now.